the ultimate sacrifice today. I'm a Southerner, but I think it's 193 degrees out here, right? All right, now look, we're not a Baptist church. I used to be a Baptist. All the folks in the back rows have to come on down out of the shade. Come on. We're going to shame you just for a few minutes. Come on around, guys. As hot as it is today, if we keep working this issue, it's going to get even hotter for Barack Obama and Harry. Because I think the American people are fed up, don't you?
Yeah!
They're tired of this stuff coming out of Washington, D.C. Today, united as one, we gather with a simple, crystal clear message for the United States Senate, whose offices are up there.
Sorry.
Repeal this disastrous health care legislation now. And if you refuse to repeal this legislation, the American people are going to repeal you. And today we have another message for the President of the United States. Mr. President, with all due respect to you and your office, keep your hands off our health care. Keep it off our health care. You know, over the last 2 years, 3 years really, a great debate has taken place across our nation over whether or not Washington, D.C. health care is a good idea. Well, I'm here to tell you, and you know this already, the debate is over. The American people have spoken. They've made their views known loud and clear. In November of 2009, they had a message for then Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And isn't it nice to say then Speaker Nancy Pelosi? They had a message for Nancy Pelosi. They said, Madam Speaker, thanks but no thanks on health care coming out of Washington. You are fired. And that's what they said to her. Now 37 days ago, the Supreme Court had a disastrous ruling, right? It was frustrating. No way around that. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It was disappointing to see Chief Justice Roberts join 4 liberal justices in passing or upholding the constitutionality of a law that we believe is unconstitutional. Forcing Americans to buy a private product by law. And that was wrong, it was frustrating, it was difficult. But folks, here's the good news. In the end, the Supreme Court of this great nation, as powerful as it is, they don't have the last word. You have the last word. It's not over until we say it's over. And guess what? It's not over. We're starting again today. We're here in Washington, D.C. with a clear message for the Senate, for the House, and I'll tell you this. We sometimes criticize the House of Representatives, sometimes we criticize the Republicans in that House, but I'll give them full credit. They stepped up within days of that Supreme Court ruling, Speaker Boehner and the Republicans, and unanimously, I believe, they voted to repeal Obamacare, and good for them, and they deserve a round of applause for that. We're gathered here not for political reasons. We're gathered here for some basic common sense principles. Because, you know, 2 of my children are here. I have twin boys. Where are they? Cabot and Hudson, right there. Our twin boys are here today. And I don't know about you. I don't know if it's this way with your children and grandchildren. But when it comes to the government taking care of their health care, do we trust that?
No.
No, we don't. We don't trust the government running health care for our children and grandchildren. You know, my mom and dad are in their late 70s now. They've battled hard issues for a decade. And frankly, we're thankful to God they're doing better, and it's a good medical care. They're doing better. But do we trust their care and the elderly's care to bureaucrat bean counters in Washington, D.C.? No, we don't. I don't need some bureaucrat from the government telling me that my parents at a certain point don't have enough quality of life to deserve treatment. And we're not going to let that happen. We're going to stop that from happening. And when it comes to holding down the cost of health care, this is almost laughable. But do we really trust the federal government to hold down the cost of anything? It's laughable. The post office is defaulting on billion-dollar payouts. Amtrak, not exactly on time and on target with their dollar raising. Every federal program does what? It goes over budget. It goes over spending. Over the next 10 years, it won't be $1 trillion. It'll be trillions of dollars that this government is spending and wasting. I mean, think about, remember the GSA conferences in Las Vegas, the parties there with our money? It'll be GSAs on steroids. These people will be spending money like beyond belief, and we're not going to let that happen. When you look at Obamacare already, you see also the government cronyism that's involved. Because we know what happens when a government program that's big and powerful kicks in. Is it same treatment for everyone? No, of course not. If you're a well-connected union, or frankly, if you're a well-connected corporation, you get a waiver from Obamacare. Do you guys get waivers from Obamacare? No, you don't. If you happen to be a small business in Nancy Pelosi's district, you get a waiver. Congratulations. They've given away dozens and dozens of waivers to folks in her district who are connected. We're not going to let government cronyism take over the greatest healthcare system in the world. And when they pass this on all of us, who do they exempt? Themselves. The president, every member of Congress who voted for this monstrosity, their staffs, they have the federal health insurance program. Now look, this is a secret. I don't talk about it very often, but confession's good for the soul. I'm going to share this. I worked on Capitol Hill for 3 years. I did. I'm sorry. I was a chief of staff to a good conservative member, okay? But I had the federal health insurance benefits. I had dozens of choices. The very thing they want to deny you and me when it comes to health care, choice. The ability to do what's best for us and our families and our children, our grandkids. They want to deny that to everyone else while exempting themselves and keeping their own health care. That's wrong, and we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen, folks. We're going to repeal this bill. We're going to repeal this bill. We're going, I said, to repeal this bill. Repeal the bill is what we're going to do. Repeal the bill. That's exactly what we're going to do. And look, I've heard the voices. Some of them are our friends. And they're saying, look, we can't do it. We're never going to get 60 votes in the Senate to overcome a filibuster. We're never going to have a president that will sign an overturn of this legislation. But look, there was one silver lining, and only one, in that health care decision that Chief Justice Roberts and 4 liberals on the court put through. They said that the individual mandate is what we know it is, a tax increase, right? So the Senate rules under reconciliation means that to strip out the tax increases and the spending increases, we don't need 60 votes. We need 51 votes, and we can do that! We can do that! And then we need a president who will sign it. And I think we can do that. We can have a president who is convinced to do the right thing on this legislation and sign this. So look, there's hope. We can beat this thing. Remember, it's not over till we say it's over, and we're not saying it's over. We can win this. The American people are with us. They're with you and me. You've worked hard about this. How many of you called and emailed and wrote and visited your members of Congress saying vote no? Almost all of you. We lost in Congress. We won with the American people. And we're winning today. We just got to make sure we keep it on doing it. And we're going to keep doing it. Look, thank you for coming out here. Today is another day closer to victory.